All right, guys. So today in our defensive whiteboard session, we're going to just talk about areas of engagement from a one-on-one perspective. So we're not going to talk about hot, 2 or 3 slides. We're just going to talk about what do I do as a defensive player when my guy is dodging from above the box, from the wings, or from behind X. And hopefully by the end of this video series, you'll understand and know the answers to how do we play the offensive player, why do we play them this way, and what should we think or say to remember how to play these guys. The first area of engagement we're going to talk about today is how to defend an offensive player from above the box. And what that means is any dodge that happens above this restraining line right here. So typically a midfield dodge. When we're defending above the box, we want to think of the word LAD, which stands for line, angle, drive. So the first one is line. When we're defending, so let's say we're defending M1 right here, we want to create an imaginary line splitting the middle of the field. And this is going to help us determine which side we want to force our offensive player. If M1 is on the right side of this line, we want to keep him on the right side of the field. If he's on the left side of the line, we want to keep him on the left side of the field. Number 2 is angle. So once we create that line and once we know which side of the field he's on and which side we want to keep him, we have to angle our body to force him that way. So if M1's on this right side, we want to keep him on that right side, and we want to position our body like so, left foot here, right foot here, to force M1 to just stay on this right side. So let's say he starts dodging and he wants to try and take top side or cross this imaginary line. In theory, he shouldn't be able to because of the way we position ourselves. We want to get beat, if we do get beat, to this right side. If we position ourselves completely parallel to M1, we're not really dictating a side. So he could literally go right or left if he beats us. A lot of other guys will do the actual opposite, where the left foot's here, right foot's here, and we're actually inviting them to go from the right side to the left side, which is a big no-no. So once we've established that line, once we have the correct angle to force them in the side that they're on, we want to think of drive. So once M1 starts dodging and makes a move, and if we do a good job and keep on this right side, we want to eventually make contact above the box. And we use the word drive instead of push because let's say this red dot is a defenseman. If we are defending correctly and he can't get top side and he's driving towards the goal, if we push M1, that actually might create space for him to get his hands free and shoot. So we want to think of the word drive or Velcro, where we make contact above the box and we're driving them to the corners of the side that we want to keep them on. The reason we want to make contact above the box or at the top of the box is if, let's say you're playing inside the box and this M1 gets the ball and he's running as fast as he can downhill, one, that's tough to defend. He has all the momentum on his side. And 2, let's say you do play good defense inside the box and he gets one step on you, still good defense. At a higher level, this is going to be a high quality shot. So, and it's going to be tough for our defense to slide and recover from a close dodge from this. So ideally, if we do defend this way and we make contact above the box, and let's say we do get beat, we have all this time to slide and recover. So M1 gets a step on us, we can slide, we'll have our 2, and then we can recover with so much more time where they're not a threat, as opposed to sliding here where they're already in shooting position. So that's how we want to defend from above the box. Remember, we want to think of LAD, line, angle, and drive. So the next area of engagement we're going to talk about is how to defend dodges from the wings. So the wings are this left side right here or this right side over here. And when we're defending the wings, these are 3 words we want to remember: under, angle, and drive. Under just means the direction of the field we want to force them. So just like when we're defending from up top, if they're on the right side of the line, we want to force them to the right side, left side of the line, force them to the left side. If we're playing somebody on the wing, no matter what, if it's on the left side or the right side, we want to force them underneath. And underneath just means towards X. not over. So if we're on this right wing, we're playing A2, we want to force them underneath towards X. If we're on this left side of the goal, left side of the field, and they're dodging from the wing, same thing. We want to force them underneath. So if they dodge, no matter what, we want them to go this way. The next word I want you to think about is angle, just like defending from up top. We want to angle ourselves to force them to go underneath. And how do we do that? Is exactly the same way, where you want to have our left foot over here, right foot here, and want to angle ourselves this way, where if A2 tries to go over the top, it's going to be very tough for him. We want to force him underneath. Even if we get beat by a step, we want to force him underneath because that's a tough low angle shot. We're probably going to have a hot guy ready to go here, and they're most likely just going to carry or move the ball, and that's a success on defense right there. It doesn't have to be a takeaway. It doesn't have to be a crazy play. Good defense is forcing them where we want or getting beat the right way. So if we're on this right wing, force them underneath. If we're on this left wing, we want to force them under. We want to make sure our angle is correct. So left foot, right foot, can't go over the top. We're going to drive them underneath. And then the last word you want to think of, just like before, is drive. We don't want to push. If we push, might give him some space where he can eventually get to the paint. We simply just want to get on his hips and drive him to X. So the last area of engagement we're going to talk about is how to defend from behind or from X. And the three words we want to think of is contain, angle, and drive, or close the gate, which is something we use a lot. Close the gate. So just like when we're defending from above or from the wings, when we're defending from behind, we want to force them to a certain area. Above the box, we want to keep them on the right or left side, depending on which side of the line they're on. If they're defending from the wings, we want to force them underneath. If we're defending from behind, we want to contain them. We want to contain them in this little area behind X, because if they have the ball, they can't score from behind. We can do our job with our pull to greet the gloves and pressure hands and prevent them from trying to feed. But if we keep him back here, he's not going to be a threat. So first one, contain. Like I said, we want to keep them in this area. So if he starts to attack, all we want to do is, before we get to GLE, make contact, close the gate, and drive him back to list space. If we drive him back and get our stick in front, he tries to attack the other side, we can cut through the crease, do the same thing, get that angle, drive or close the gate. We'll hear a turn, or contact or drive call from the goalie. All we're doing is forcing him back and containing him behind. All right, so now we've covered all four areas of the field where most of the dodging happens. And no matter what part of the field they're on, all these principles will apply. So obviously, if we have an attackman who's outside this contain, we want to force them to that spot. So we want to angle ourselves out here. If he's dodging at a high wing, we still want to force him underneath. If he's dodging low wing, we still want to force him underneath. And if he's dodging from the corner of the field, we still want to keep him either the left side or right side. So like we said earlier, with the areas of engagement, hopefully now you have the answers to these three main questions on, one, how do we play the offensive player? If they're above the box, we want to force them down the alley. If they're on the wings, we want to force them under. If they're behind, we want to contain. And why do we play them this way? Like we talked about, if we're dodging them up top, we don't want them to get towards the paint. Same with the wings, same from X. And then what should we think or say to remember these? So, if you're a player, you should just always be thinking whenever you approach somebody, first thing is angle. The biggest thing is angle. You should know what side of the field he's on, or if you're getting dodged from the wings or from behind, but you should be thinking at all times, angle, angle, angle. Or if you're a goalie or a teammate or a coach, we can be saying angle, 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 and maybe we go from positioning ourselves this way and you hear angle, we rise up and force them exactly where you want to be. So this covers areas of engagement from a one-on-one perspective, and we're going to slowly build in these video series to, all right, how do we play on ball? What is the hot responsibility? Where is the two coming from? And then we'll build this team defense. So If you have any questions, please shoot us an email, please comment on the video, and we hope this helps you guys out a ton.